The human body is a complicated network of cells, tissues, and organs that make life possible. We are humans, capable of complex and powerful movements, and can mimic almost every other species on the planet. Every 7 to 10 years, you get a completely new body with new organs and tissues. You can do anything. Paint a masterpiece in a minute, learn every language in an hour, build $1 billion company overnight, and rule the world by tomorrow. Our brain is very complex. We've studied it for centuries and still learn more about it today. But have you ever wondered where humans come from? There is a theory that says humans first lived on Mars. But is this true? Please stay with us until the end of the video. The last chance. In the beginning, God created humans with immense kindness and care. He shaped them with love, breathed His Spirit into them, and made them His most precious creation. Humans were dear to God, and He showered them with His blessings. God loved humans so much that He gave them all kinds of fruits, foods, trees, and plants. He said, "Enjoy these gifts and live happily." The world was a paradise, filled with abundance and beauty. God gave humans just a few simple rules. Do not be enemies with each other, and only worship me. For a while, humans followed these rules and lived in harmony, enjoying the bounties of their world. But as time passed, they began to forget God's commandments. Greed and pride took over their hearts. They started creating weapons, fighting wars, and causing destruction. The worst of all was when they invented atomic bombs. Their beautiful planet, Mars, was consumed by fire and smoke, its surface scarred by the devastation of their actions. The once thriving world was now a barren wasteland, with no sign of life remaining. God watched human wars with great sadness. He saw His beloved creation turning against each other and destroying the home He had given them. Only a few humans managed to survive the catastrophe. God, with a heavy heart, spoke to them, "You disobeyed my commands and brought this ruin upon yourselves." Mars was now a dead planet, covered in thick smoke and flames. The survivors, realizing their mistakes, pleaded with God for another chance. They cried out, "Please, give us one more opportunity to prove ourselves. We have learned from our mistakes." God, being compassionate, decided to grant them one last chance. But He said, "I will give you another chance, but I will take away your memory. You will not remember your past mistakes. Let us see how you live this time. I will place you on another planet called Earth. This is your final opportunity. Cherish it and be wise." With a wave of His hand, God transported the remaining humans to Earth. This new world was as beautiful and bountiful as Mars once was. The sky was blue, the waters clear, and the land fertile. God hoped that this time humans would remember to live in harmony, cherish the gifts they had been given, and follow His simple commandments. On Earth, humans began anew. They learned to cultivate the land, build homes, and create societies. They marveled at the beauty of their new world, unaware of their previous life on Mars. God watched over them, hoping that this time they would make better choices. Now, it was only a theory, but let's examine it under our scientific lens. Mars, like Earth, is about 4.5 billion years old. It formed from an ancient cloud of dust and gas, just like the rest of the solar system, when the universe was about 9.3 billion years old. Mars is also a rocky planet, like Earth, and it's the last of the inner planets close to the Sun before the asteroid belt divides our solar system. In some ways, Earth and Mars are similar, but in other ways, they are very different. Mars is about half the size of Earth. It has a very thin atmosphere and no magnetosphere. Importantly, Mars is not within the habitable zone around the Sun, where conditions are right for life as we know it. Despite this, we still look for signs of life on Mars. The idea of Martians has been a popular theme in science fiction for many years. However, science has moved forward. Today, instead of looking for a living alien colony on Mars, our rovers and orbiters search for signs of ancient life from a time when Mars might have been less hostile. We might still find a Martian environment that has life today. But if not, finding evidence of past life would be the next best thing. The question of whether life on Mars, if it ever existed, came before life on Earth was seriously asked for the first time in 2013. At that time, NASA was analyzing data from its Opportunity and Curiosity rovers. The rovers found solid evidence that Mars once had large bodies of liquid water and that it has many of the essential elements needed for life. This information has led to theories that microbes might have existed on Mars, just like they do on Earth. The exact time when Mars might have been habitable is still debated, but many scientists think it was between 3 and 4 billion years ago. This is around the same time that the earliest life on Earth is believed to have started. Before the rovers, there was Allen Hill's 84001, a piece of Martian meteorite found in Antarctica in the last week of 1984. This rock, which weighs a little over 4 pounds, is thought to have crashed into Earth about 13,000 years ago. The leading theory says it was ejected from Mars about 17 million years ago due to another impact. This meteorite dates back a little over 4 billion years, which is interesting because it's much older than even the earliest estimates for life on Earth. Allen Hill's 84001 formed the basis of one of the first major news stories about evidence of life on Mars. Understanding that Mars might have once had life is one of humanity's most profound discoveries. Over several years, the Perseverance rover will collect 30 rock and soil samples in sealed tubes to eventually send back to Earth for laboratory analysis in the 2030s. Although NASA hasn't discovered any evidence of life on Mars yet, we have found plenty of evidence suggesting that Mars could have supported life in the past. There are indications of a vast ocean and an atmosphere capable of sustaining life. However, much of Mars remains unexplored. There are potentially habitable areas, such as the deep subsurface, where fluids and organisms could exist, shielded from the harmful surface radiation. We are now deploying instruments on the Martian surface to explore these potentially habitable regions and investigate the possibility of life. So, is there life on Mars? Not as far as we know, but there is still much of Mars left to discover and explore. What do you think? Please leave a comment.